growing up, it's that cars keep getting bigger and technology keeps improving faster and faster. And the Hyundai Palisade is proof for both of those. Today's video, I have both the 2025 model year, aka last generation of the Hyundai Palisade, and then the 2026 fully redesigned inside and out model. Now, both of these vehicles are in the Ultimate Calligraphy trim, which is the highest trim level you can get here in Canada. That means they've got all the tech, all of the features, and all of the options. Now, the purpose of today's live stream car review is talking about everything we get feature and tech-wise between both models. So it's a comparison. That means it'll be a lot of back and forth, but we're doing this live in real time, so that way any one of you guys watching while we're filming can ask us questions, mention which model you prefer, and just find out what you guys like. You guys are the buyers, right? So we'll start off with the 2025. We'll talk about what it has and what it doesn't, and then we'll work our way over to the 2026, where we have quite the feature upgrades. Now, a lot of the feature upgrades will be within the interior portion, so there'll be a lot of sitting in the car, a lot of looking at the screens, and likely a lot of questions. We're gonna aim to cap this video at 40 minutes. If there's anything else we don't cover, let us know in the comments down below, and we can always make a future video addressing it. Now, Adam's gonna grab the camera, and we're gonna get right into the 2025 model. Now, a few housekeeping things to get out of the way. Of course, this isn't a mechanical or full in-depth walkthrough talking about all the space and dimension differences. I will, however, talk about powertrain right at the beginning to get that out of the way. So the 2025 model only had one powertrain option here in Canada. It was a 3.8-liter naturally aspirated V6 that produced 291 horsepower with 262 pound-feet of torque. It had an 8-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive standard, and terrain modes. Now for 2026, we have either a 3.5-liter V6, naturally aspirated with both gasoline direct injection and multi-point injection, or the option, which is not yet available at the time of filming this, of a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid powertrain. So the first hybrid Palisade ever. Now both of these vehicles have fantastic powertrains, but the option for a hybrid is something that a lot of our viewers and customers have been asking for. Now, let's get tech out of the way, starting off on the front end of the 25. We have full LEDs with an integrated intelligent high beam assist function, as well as forward-facing ultrasonic parking sensors. Now, these sensors will go hand in hand with a 360 camera on your vehicle. So right smack dab in the very center, we have our first camera. This is one of 5 on this particular vehicle. And anytime your parking sensors pick something up, like another car or your garage door wall, it'll automatically show you live footage from our front camera there. So very smart in that sense. It's also worth noting that although this is last year's model, the camera quality is still fantastic. It's very high definition, and we will show you before this video ends off today. In terms of things like driver assistance, we get a great suite of driver assistance functions that all seem to be very easy to operate and don't require an additional subscription. So one of which comes down to this radar plate in the center. This vehicle will get you Highway Driving Assist Level 2, which is essentially a smart cruise control, but enhanced. It uses navigation-based data to know the speed limit of the highway that you're on, but also if there's any bends in the road. The car will keep you centered in your lane, make sure you're at a safe following distance from the car ahead of you, and if you signal a lane change, it'll do an automatic lane change for you. Highway Drive Assist 2 is on select models of the 2025 Palisade. I believe it starts on the urban trim level here in Canada. However, if you are in the States, you guys do have different trims, so please specify with your local dealership, I guess. Now, this particular safety function is fantastic, and we actually still have Highway Driving Level Assist 2 on 2026. So it's so good, they didn't really have to change it, but there are still some tweaks. There's also some great advanced or proactive safety functions like our forward collision avoidance. Now it works with pedestrians, cyclists, and of course other vehicles to warn you, but also apply brake force to avoid a collision. And that is thanks to the camera located in the center windscreen. Now that is all that center camera really does. Forward collision avoidance, lane keeping assist, and lane following assist. And that is one of the very major changes from the 2026 model, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. Now, back to this particular car, it's not just the headlights that look good, it's not just the forward collision avoidance, we also have some great driver functions, things like a sport mode, eco mode, and even multi-terrain modes, including snow, mud, and sand. Both models of the Hyundai Palisade will have a front-wheel drive bias all-wheel drive system. That means if it's a regular sunny day and you're on dry pavement, it's largely in front-wheel drive unless it senses you need more power to the rear. So think accelerating to get onto the highway or launching from a standstill. The car does it all by itself. As far as things like parking, you do have slightly side-faced parking sensors. So this is great for getting your vehicle into tight corners or parallel parking, and that also works in conjunction with a full 360-degree view. You have cameras mounted on your side view mirrors that show you exactly what's happening in your blind spot, as well as your turn signal markers both on the front face of your mirror and then the side as well too, so cars behind you can see. For convenience, you'll get proximity entry for the 2025 model, but no digital key. So if you are someone who would love to start and unlock your vehicle all from your phone, you can't necessarily do so unless you're using the app itself for 2025. So you can't pull out your key and just be within proximity of this car to unlock it. You can only have your key fob on you to do so. You do, however, have Hyundai's BlueLink system, which is free for 3 years, and that allows you to remotely start your car, check if the windows are open, that kind of thing, all from your phone. You just can't drive it from your phone, if that makes sense. From the side, not too much to talk about as far as tech and features go. A lot of it is design. And if you didn't catch it already, we just filmed a design comparison between the two cars. Now, you do get a lot more classic elements on this particular model with a lot more bold and modern on the 26. Yes, Adam?
About the design, can we say the color one more time?
Yes, so I'm assuming someone asked about it?
A few.
Okay, a couple people asked about the color of this model. This is called Robust Emerald, and it's my favorite color we've ever had for any of our cars. It's a dark, dark, dark green with a metallic finish. It's very classy, complements the Palisade beautifully, and we still have it for 2026, thank goodness. All right, with that being said though, 2025 only gave you 5 exterior color options for the Ultimate Calligraphy, so a bit less to choose from compared to the 9 choices we get on the 26 model. Now along the rear, and this is where things get a bit harder to film because it's fairly dark back here, we have our typical rear view camera, which is right underneath the eye in Palisade. This will give you dynamic guidelines to show you exactly where your car is ending up when you're reverse parking. But we also get a secondary camera up over here that's for your rear view mirror. It's best I show you guys when we hop inside, so without further ado, let's go inside. We're gonna check out the driver's seat first because there's a lot going on this particular seat. Now the fact that we get a very, very luxurious driver's seat is important on the 25, and that's really where it starts and where it ends. So it's only the driver's seat that gets all of these crazy controls. It is a relaxation style seat, so if you'd like, you can recline it and make yourself nice and comfortable if you're waiting for something with hopefully the car not running or driving. It could be running, not driving. You don't want to be full reclined and not being able to see the road. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. We have our Ergomotion seat button here, which essentially starts the massage function of the seat. Footrest adjustment, great for taller drivers. Your seat, which you can also tilt. Backrest, bolstering support, as well as 4-way lumbar support. Now, both the driver and passenger front seats are going to be heated and ventilated with 3 different levels between the two. And even the same for our second row seats, heat and ventilation with multiple levels between those 2 seats. That's where it ends though, so no heated third row on the 25. Spoiler alert, we get that on the 26. As far as memory seats, we have our controls located on the door card with a beautiful pinstripe finish on the black interior option. This turns into a wood grain if you opt for the lighter interior color options. So lots of variability between what particular color way you pick. It completely changes, if I'm being honest. For your sound system, it's a Harman Kardon sound system with 12 speakers, including 1 subwoofer in the very rear. Beautiful metal painted finish for the speaker itself. I think it looks very premium. Your steering wheel is heated. You got your media controls on the left-hand side with your driving controls on the right. That includes things like your smart cruise control, your highway driving assist, and also your steering assistance. Your gauge cluster is very different on the 2025. So while it is fully digitized, you can see it's sunken in, so it is not visible from the side at all, really. And this is good because it blocks glare quite a bit, but it doesn't really have that modern wraparound look that the 2026 will have, so it's not really integrated into the main touchscreen. This could be a preference of yours, it could not be, totally up to you, but this is just the way that it is. The very center screen features are now, I guess, old software, but 12.3 inches of screen real estate, total touchscreen, very quick software, easy to look at with large icons. That being said, it's not as intuitive as what we'll see in the 2026, and one of the major complaints really is that some people may have not really liked the theme and you can't customize it too much, and of course, it's wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing for me, I much prefer wired, but some people, it might be a deal breaker. So I got that right off the bat for you guys. That being said, a couple other things we'll talk about on the screen before we'll move on to the rest of the tech and safety functions. We have integrated navigation as well as passenger talk, which is an in-car telecom. This essentially projects my speakers or my voice from up at the front into the speakers in the rear. Great if you have a full house or full car. There's also a rear climate screen where you can go in and view as well as adjust the rear climate control and even lock it if your kids are misbehaving. Other than that, you can go into the vehicle menu and adjust things like your smart cruise control or your warnings. If you find your vehicle has a little bit too much tech going on, maybe more so than your preferences, you can turn things off and always go back and change them. So it's very, very driver focused and user friendly. Below that, you'll see our climate control has a mix of dials, buttons, and touchscreen. So all three really. So if you like one, you got it. If you hate one, you also got it. There's regular buttons up above for your media controls and then a regular volume knob and tune knob. Your start button is off towards the left-hand side, or I guess right-hand side of the steering column. Then the steering column itself is pretty simple. You have your wiper stalk and your lighting stalk, but that's it. That's a key difference for the 2026 where we also have our gear shift there. Gear shift over here is a button style shift by wire. So if you like buttons, you'll love the 25 model. You got a ton of them. Heated seats, ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, everything in between is all located here, as well as your drive and terrain mode select. So smart, sport, eco, and comfort, all done by twisting the dial. And then if you'd like your terrain modes, you'll press the button in the center, then twist, where you'll get snow, mud, and sand. Now these terrain modes directly adjust your all-wheel drive torque distribution. So mud and snow mode is a full mud and sand mode is a full 50-50 split, while snow mode is a bit more of an 80-20. So 80 to the front, 20 to the rear, but it can drop down and give you a more split torque distribution if you are driving slowly or if there's a lot of slippage. Now here's a cool tech thing we had in 2025, and that is a digital rear view. So you can't really see much right now because there's nothing behind the camera, but I'll have Adam walk back there, and there you go. Now that's scary. Let's get rid of it. Now, if you don't like looking at it, you can flip it and have a regular rear view mirror. So it's totally up to you what you like best. The height is also adjustable. Still had great things like a heads-up display too. So this is something you can either turn on or off. I'm trying to zoom, but it keeps moving the chat. There we go. Projecting your speed and driver safety info, as well as the posted speed limit. So that's about it for our quick buttons and controls up here. I'll quickly take a minute to talk about some safety, and then we'll also talk about charging. So as far as safety goes, and I'm not talking about things like systems, like forward collision avoidance, we have 7 airbags in this vehicle and great crash ratings. Now we do have 10 airbags on the new model. I don't know if the crash ratings have been released yet, but we can expect to see some improvements there as well too, and they are of course advanced airbags. For more dynamic technology or feature-rich technology in terms of safety, we also have blind spot detection on this vehicle that does have the capability of avoiding a collision, so it'll give opposing brake force to avoid that, and rear cross traffic collision avoidance assist. Now the 2026 model will build upon that more so in the forwards collision avoidance department, just realizing, or I guess seeing a couple other driving situations and being able to avoid them. So it has evasive steering, it has the ability to see if there's oncoming cars. It just has a better eyes, if that makes sense. So a more broad array of collision systems. Now there was one more thing I wanted to point out, and it has to do with chargers. So we have a wireless phone charger in this model. It's placed right down there, and a USB for connectivity. Now if you are going to use wired Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you'll have to plug it into this one. None of the other USBs will work. Speaking of other USBs, this car has a majority, or I guess a few, different options for charging. There's another USB down here, as well as a 12 volt, and then a little bit of storage, with USB-Cs in the very rear. Now the USB-Cs on this vehicle, they will charge faster than a USB, a typical USB, but they aren't going to be as quick as the 2026 model. It's because the 2026 now has 100-watt chargers, 6 of them. So if you gotta charge your phone fast, you might want the 2026. Before I hop in, I'll have Adam quickly show the interior. Oh, never mind, we left the seat not ready. No visitors, please, yet. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna hop in quick. Seats themselves, absolutely gorgeous. If you didn't watch our previous comparison between these two vehicles, there's definitely a lot more seat design on the 25 than the 26. It feels a bit more upscale, but these seats back here don't have the same controls as what we'll see on the 26. So if I'd like to maneuver it, I'll grab the bar between my legs and move it on my own. It's on a rail system, so it's fairly quick and easy, but not powered. That might be a good thing, that might be an advantage. They're heated and ventilated with all of the controls to do so being positioned on the back of the center console. So 3 levels of heat, 3 levels of ventilation, 3 levels of heat, and then all of our fan and temperature controls right down here. Below that, there is a household outlet, 115 volts, as well as a 12 volt inverter. And then you've got those USB-Cs built onto the backs of the seats. Up at the top, you have 2 sunroofs. Now only the one in the front opens. The one in the rear just has a powered cover. The glass pane itself is fixed. Speakers back here, again, that same beautiful metal design. And there is ambient lighting on this vehicle. So a nice purple touch that you can see from back here. You can change the color to whatever you'd like. Now I think we'll quickly move on over to the 2026 because we're already at the 16-minute mark. Here we go, starting off on the front end. Guys, these live comparisons kill me sometimes. Lots of talking. I love doing them, but I want to make sure I don't get scattered brained. So if I forgot something and you want to see it before the video ends, let me know and I will go back to it. That being said, the lights timed out, so I'm going to turn them on and you'll see the way the lights actually come to life on this car. Adam, if you don't mind focusing in on the main headlamp itself. Once I turn the vehicle on, you'll see that silver turned to an LED almost perfectly. So when the car is off, this looks like it's just a part of our satin chrome design here. Full LEDs all throughout with that same intelligent high beam assist. You get those same ultrasonic forward-facing parking sensors that also move towards the side, giving you a more broad array of sensitivity. As far as camera goes, we have the exact same amount of cameras on this particular vehicle as the 25, but what they do gets a little bit more advanced. What I mean by that is this forward-facing camera here isn't just for parking anymore, giving you a full 360-degree view. It's also an integrated dash cam. I know. Now, the Ultimate Calligraphy is the only trim level that has this dual channel dash cam. So we've got the camera in the front recording what's happening ahead, and then the camera in the rear recording what's happening behind your car. There's a few different settings for this. You can have it on, you can have it off, you can have it while you're parked or only while you're driving. Everything can be customized from the main head unit in the car. So very handy. You don't have to download a third-party app, nothing like that. And it's factory equipment, so you don't have to worry about voiding your warranty or discharging your battery. Hyundai did everything for you. All right, that's about it for the front end as far as technology goes. We still have that highway driving assist level 2, and we have that advanced forward collision avoidance level 2. So just a greater array of safety-related systems or circumstances where the car can apply brake force to avoid collisions. The camera in the very center windscreen, as you can see, we've got 2 of them. Sorry, it's not exactly our front camera there. It's the camera in the windshield that is your dash cam. I just got carried away. We've got one for our lane safety, one for our dash cam. For proximity entry, we have that same function where as long as the key is on you, you'll simply grab the door handle. So instead of pressing that button on the other model, just grab the handle. But we also have digital key. So as long as I have my phone paired to a digital key on the car, I can simply walk up to my vehicle, unlock it as long as the phone is on me. And I can also share and revoke access to. For your mirrors, you'll see they are power folding the same with that blind spot detection icon, and then our lights, both a little bit on the front, right over there, and a little bit on the side too. So people ahead of you and behind you can see if you're indicating a lane change. We get that same drive mode select and terrain mode with snow, mud, and sand, except on this particular car, there's also a custom function where you can select exactly what you'd like. If you wanted to have sporty steering but a regular dynamic powertrain, you can do that. It's totally customizable and set to your liking. The rear of this vehicle also features a auto-leveling rear suspension with a multi-link rear suspension. That's the same between these 2 cars. Now, if you are planning on towing, the 2026 might have a little bit of an incentive, and that's because we have a factory integrated tow hitch. So on this lower portion of the bumper, you'll see it separated to these 2 lines here. We have 2 screws on the bottom that you can undo and access your integrated hitch. Now the actual receiver, are you okay, Adam, is in the trunk right now. We have your pre-wiring and a heavy-duty transmission cooler as standard equipment on the Palisade. Now the car only comes with the integrated hitch on the XRT Pro and above, but even if you are getting the preferred trend, the true entry trim level, you'll get the heavy-duty transmission cooler and the pre-wiring. You'll just have to install at the dealership or elsewhere, if that's your preference, the hitch itself. Rear-facing parking sensors, just like the 25 model. And here's a little nerd upgrade. We have washer nozzles for not just our backup camera, but also our digital rear view camera. Very nice. Another small thing that makes a big difference to me specifically is the rear wiper is no longer on the glass. It's now hidden underneath the spoiler. So small touches like that, I think, make the car look a little bit more clean, a little bit more modern. Maybe it's not exactly a feature that you'll write down on paper, but it's something small that you grow to appreciate with ownership. Now I'm going to have Adam show the interior before I hop in. You'll see there's a lot less going on as far as design on the 26, but it's still a very luxe cabin. It's just more of a minimal luxe than, you know, the 25. So very horizontal in terms of the seat styling. There is a calligraphy debossing within the headrest. As far as the seat controls go, though, we actually have more going on for sure. And it's not just the driver's seat this time. It's actually the driver, the passenger, and both of our second rows. That's because we all have relaxation seats. So if I'd like to trigger mine, all I've got to do is press and hold down here, and then the seat will go into its reclined position, put up its footrest, and let me relax a little bit. So it's one touch control. Now you may be wondering, the 2025 had massage seats, why doesn't this one? It does. It's just in a different spot. So if you'd like to turn on the ErgoMotion seat, it's right over here next to your memory seat controls. So you still get all of those luxe functions. As far as the rest of the controls, they are the same as the 25. So you got your knee extender, the lower portion of your seat, the backrest, bolstering, and lumbar support. They'll both be heated and ventilated up at the front too, with 3 different levels between the both. But now for the steering wheel, it's heated with 2 levels. Very hot and kind of hot. I'm going to take the camera from Adam to show you guys the steering wheel layout and our gauge cluster layout. So the steering wheel is very different, leather wrapped of course, and very luxe feeling. Little bit of metal accent here. Left hand side is reserved for your driver assistance, so quick access to your lane assistance, your smart cruise control or highway driving assist. Then the right hand side is for media. This little thing here that kind of looks like a spider eye is actually a scanner for your eyes. It's to make sure you're paying attention to the road. It's called driver attention warning. It works with the lane keeping assist and your smart cruise control to offer a little bit more control, or at least the car has control. It'll essentially warn you if you're not paying attention and remind you to pay attention, or else it will shut off those functions. So take with that what you will. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's not the first time we're seeing that on our vehicle. The Santa Fe was our first car to have it. Now behind that, we have a 12.3-inch digitized gauge cluster, and as you can see, the way it's built, it kind of flows in with the rest of the screen over here, the actual touchscreen portion. So it's more of a wraparound style, maybe a bit more modern. Let me know if you prefer it or if you don't, but it still works the same way. You can change your views. You can customize the way the gauge looks too. If you don't like this theme, there are other options. Now the center screen here is a brand new software called CCNC. In my opinion, it's far more user-friendly and far easier to work with. So if we get rid of the battery warning, you can adjust it the same way you would your phone's home screen. So move things around, customize it, make it yours. You have a top-down menu too to change things like the brightness of the screen and mute things. It's very user-friendly. One of the biggest advancements, as far as what you guys seem to think, is it is wired in its CarPlay and Android Auto now. So if you would like to connect your phone, you don't need to make sure you have a cable, and you do have a faster wireless phone charger, so you can still charge your phone while it's connected. So that is a pretty big enhancement. Below that, you can see all of our buttons and dials, so we didn't do away with it. Not everything is a massive iPad in the center. You still have a dial for your volume and your tune, and everything in between is a regular button. So it doesn't matter if you're wearing gloves in the winter, you can still access these things. Below that, we have dials and a haptic screen for your climate control. So to turn on my ventilated seats, I'll just tap over here and it does give me some audible feedback. Your gear shift is very different. It's a shift by wire that is column mounted, which frees up a lot of space in the center console itself. Speaking of the center console, we have our USB-C for data connectivity and charging. And then the two USB-Cs here are actually 100 watts, so they're supposed to charge a whole lot quicker, and they're pretty accessible. There's 6 total within the car. Wireless phone charger is quite wide for modern phones, and it's slightly elevated to reduce the overheating of a phone. And then we have some pretty large cup holders. There is ambient lighting on the vehicle. It's set to a pretty muted color right now. It looks white in person, almost pink on camera, and it's illuminated in quite a few areas, including the rear. You can of course change ambient lighting to whatever your preference is, so it's completely customizable. Just like the Palisade, for 2025, we still have that rear view mirror that's digitized, and there's Adam to demonstrate it again. There we go. It's always a little scary. One thing I really do love about this, and maybe I'm a creep, but if I'm at a red light and there's a car behind me, you can see if they're picking their nose or not, or if they're having a heated conversation. You kind of see what they're saying. All right, anyway, I'll show you guys the full 360 camera as well as the dash cam menu real quick. We are getting longer for time, so this will be fairly quick. Close my door so the picture doesn't look so distorted. Now here we go. You can move this camera around to double check your parking, make sure everything looks good, and then you have the top down right over there. There's also the front facing camera, which you can change the viewpoints on, just like that. Mind you, the car will always show you what it deems is most, helpful. So if I'm reversing my car, it'll show me my backup camera, but if I'm pulling up to a wall, it'll show me my front camera, so long as the front sensors get picked up. Now the dash cam itself, like I said, is integrated into the vehicle. Gives me this legal info menu. And over here, you can see the wonderful footage that we've recorded. So, pretty cool that you can actually watch it from within the camera, or within the car, I should say. It tells you your current speed, your selected gear, if any signals are on, as well as if any impact's been detected, and your coordinates. There is 2 cameras, like I mentioned, so front and rear. So you can see this is the rear view one here, and then back to the front. This is so cool to have integrated into our car, and if you'd like to turn them on, all you do is press record. So I just essentially turn the camera on while we are driving, but not while we're parked, not while motion's detected. You can turn everything on, select things on, it is totally up to you. Now, everything is also stored within the car itself. I've had some people ask if this will kill your battery, and it's not supposed to. Of course, I can't say no it won't, because who knows, anything could happen. It's not supposed to. Hyundai is supposed to have kind of like a kill switch for it, that if it senses it's depleting too much, it'll stop the dash cam and it'll very likely warn you on the BlueLink app. But we haven't seen that happen yet. It's too new of technology. So that's something that we'll have to probably check within a year. And hopefully we'll have a demo registered to our store that we can really try out everything in the long run with. But as of now, again, we've had this car for about a month, so we haven't run into anything negative with it yet. Of course, how likely your vehicle is to drain its battery depends on what settings you have. So if you have it set to record at all times while parked, and you have your car parked for a long time, it could, it very much could, but the battery would likely die on any car that's parked for a very long time without being moved or turned on. So not necessarily equated to just the dash cam itself. Alrighty, Adam, do you mind showing the passenger seat controls? All right, so I already mentioned that we have a relaxation driver's seat, but the same is true for the passenger. Regardless of just the relaxation seat, there's also quite a few different power options anyway, so things like your lumbar support, your height adjustment, and whatnot. Adam, do you want to put it in relaxation mode? Press and hold. There we go. So it'll put the seat in a reclined state, making your passenger a little bit more comfortable. There we go. I don't know if we'll wait for the whole thing to trigger because it's pretty slow. That's the one bad thing about powered seats. Sometimes they're not fast. All right, Adam, I'm going to be very annoying and ask you to move it back into its original setting because we're now going to take a look at the second row seats and then very quickly the third row too. Now on the topic of powered everything, here is where things get a little bit funky. For the Ultimate Calligraphy, it is only available with the 7-seater configuration. That's whether you get the hybrid, whether you get the gas, it don't matter, it is only a 7-seater. That means in the very middle, you're gonna have 2 chairs instead of a bench. Sorry, you guys. Another negative thing about technology is it has that convenience function where whenever you exit the car, it reclines the seat back to make it easier for you to get out of. But unfortunately, that's not helping me right now because I gotta bring the seat up. Sometimes convenience isn't convenient. All right, I'm now gonna bring this seat up, and as you can see, this is the way it does it. Woo! Now both of these seats are going to be heated and ventilated with full power controls. That means that if I am sitting in this very seat and I would like to recline it or, you know, adjust it, all of my controls to do so will be on the side. And Adam, if you'd like to get a closer pan of that, you can see you have a recline function, you have the backrest, and then you have the height of the seat. If you remember from the 2025 model, everything was done manually. So if you want to recline it, you pull the lever, push it back with your back, and it moves. This is all power controlled. There is a household inverter right over here, so that's 115 volts. You got your 100-watt USB-Cs right up here. And then on the side of the passenger seat, we also have our valet seat control. So I can move the seat myself over here if I need more room to get in and out of. There is a downstairs center console here too, if you gotta hide your snacks. All right, now, as you know, these seats, really cool. They got that relax function, they're powered, they're slow. Now you can adjust everything from the head unit in the car, so if you know that you're gonna have passengers in your vehicle and you're on your way to pick them up, you can go and turn them on or open up the seats while you are driving or before they actually get into the car, so they're not standing there waiting in the door. So that's what I would do, because I get embarrassed. Now I'm gonna take this from Adam and show you guys our rear seat controls. So our two main third row seats have a heat function, and then they also have a recline, but also a distance function. So you can actually move them forwards or backwards. That way, if you have no cargo behind the third row and you want the maximum amount of legroom for your third row passengers, they can adjust it as needed. Versus if you have very small third row passengers and need extra space for your cargo, you can move their seats upwards, not just recline them. Previous Palisade only had the option to recline them or straighten them out. So that is pretty cool. This button cluster over here too is how you power fold or power release all of your seats. So you have a button to flip between second and third row, or you have the all function, which in my opinion is very much faster. Simply pull the trigger on all and they'll all go upright or knock down to your liking. Pretty cool. And then of course everything is repeated on the other side. I didn't mention the sound system on this model. It is a Bose premium sound, so instead of Harman Kardon, Bose is what we get, and you get 14 speakers instead of 12 speakers on the 2025 model. Another change is of course the airbags, so we'll get 10 airbags for the 2026 model year instead of the 7 within the 2025. Now I understand there's a whole lot to cover, and I think I did most of what I'd like to say. One more thing is that you do have a UV sanitation tray on this particular model. Now there is talk that they might remove it for next year. I very much think that's a bit of a 2020 feature, but we do have it. So essentially this center console here, your main center console, when you turn on the UVC button here, it'll turn on the sanitizer. Great for things like, you know, keys or high touch items, your phone, that kind of thing. All right, you guys, keyboard hack. How did that happen? I don't know what the keyboard hack might be. Jatin said you might need a USB connector for updating the software through your USB device if your battery dies, or you might use bot Android in charging your phone, or might use it for, no, I'm not sure if I understand the second portion, sorry. I would like to see a test drive video of the new Palisade. That is absolutely something we can do. I got asked why I did 2 videos in a single day, so it looks like tomorrow we will not be doing a live stream because I'm delivering a car to one of my best customers ever. So we won't be here very likely. We are leaving at 10 a.m., but it's almost 2 hours away. Then of course we're gonna go over the vehicle, get their new vehicle back here to us. By the time we get back, I don't think we'll be here for 2 p.m. So there might not be a live stream. Sorry, you guys. Who needs a USB to connect a phone if there's a wireless connector? So some people may still prefer to plug in their phone to USB. That's one of the biggest debates between wired CarPlay or wireless CarPlay. In my opinion, wired CarPlay is still my favorite because it charges my phone quicker and my phone is less likely to overheat. I also find the audio quality is a little bit better and the screen is a little bit quicker too. So if I were to go, you know, flip a song or skip to the next song, it's much quicker on wired versus wireless. So, yeah. Also, Joseph made a great point. My phone flies around. And I don't know if you're talking about wired CarPlay specifically, but that was, again, one of my favorite parts about wired CarPlay. If I make a sharp turn and my phone flies out of the center console, you fish it out with the wire, right? Wireless, you can't do that. If it's under the seat, it's under the seat. Gotta wait till you get to your destination. Anything else, you guys, about technology specifically? Again, there's so much in these vehicles that if you'd like to see a full in-depth walkthrough, we've done it on either car. So for 2026, we filmed the Ultimate Calligraphy model a few times. We've done the 2025 model multiple times. This is our first time comparing them though. And boy, it's a lot when you're talking about fully loaded cars. It really is. Let's see what else. It's getting late there, nearing 4 p.m. It is, and I do have a customer coming at 4. Benji said, well, this is how you know it's live. Our videos, yeah, if they're a live stream, they are always live. Unfortunately, lots of bad things have happened in our videos. I've once had an allergic reaction. That wasn't good. But other than that, I think we'll end off today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. I mean, it is free and it really helps out the channel. Same thing with liking this video and sharing it if you have anybody who's interested in either 25 or 26 or even just anything Hyundai or Kia specific. We have almost guaranteed done a video on it. Thank you guys so much. We'll take care, or you'll take care, I hope, and we'll see you next time we see ya. Bye-bye. I can't end it. Okay.